Imagine two people working in the same company. They joined on the same day. They have the same degree. They work the same number of hours. But 5 years later, one of them is leading projects, getting promotions, and becoming the person everyone trusts, while the other is still doing the same tasks they were doing on day one. So what's the difference? Is it talent? Is it intelligence? Not really. Because when researchers studied top performers across industries, from athletes to executives, they discovered something surprising. High performers don't just work harder. They work differently. They follow a few habits consistently that most people ignore. In this video, we're going to explore 4 things high performers do differently, and more importantly, how you can start applying these habits in your own career. First, prioritize continuous improvement. The first thing high performers do differently is simple but powerful. They focus on improving constantly. Most people focus on finishing tasks. High performers focus on becoming better at the tasks they perform. They treat every project like a learning opportunity. A great example of this mindset is Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo was not considered the most naturally gifted footballer when he started his career. But what made him extraordinary was his obsession with improvement. He practiced longer than others. He studied his performance. He constantly looked for ways to become faster, stronger, and more precise. Over time, this relentless improvement turned him into one of the greatest players in football history. We see the same principle in companies like Toyota. Toyota built its entire production system around continuous improvement. Employees are encouraged to constantly look for small ways to improve processes. Instead of waiting for big innovations, thousands of small improvements gradually transform the organization. That's exactly how high performers think. They don't aim for overnight success. They focus on small improvements every day. How you can apply this? If you want to build this habit, start with 3 simple practices. First, end every workday with one question. What did I learn today? Second, identify one skill that improves your job performance. For example, communication, leadership, problem solving, and technical knowledge. Then spend just 15-20 minutes a day improving that skill. Third, ask for feedback regularly. Most people avoid feedback because it feels uncomfortable. High performers seek it out because they know feedback accelerates growth. Over weeks and months, these small improvements compound and dramatically increase your performance. Second, leverage their strengths. The second thing high performers do differently is they focus on their strengths instead of obsessing over their weaknesses. Most people spend their careers trying to fix everything they're bad at. But research shows something interesting. The most successful people focus primarily on what they're already naturally good at and build mastery there. A powerful example is Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple. Jobs was not known for being the best engineer, but he had extraordinary strengths in vision, design thinking, and product intuition. Instead of trying to become the best programmer, he partnered with brilliant engineers like Steve Wozniak. That combination of strengths helped create products like the iPhone and Mac. Jobs focused on what he did best, seeing what customers would love before they even realized it themselves. High performers understand this principle. They ask themselves 2 questions. What am I naturally good at? And how can I use this strength more often? For example, Google encourages employees to work on projects where their strengths create the most impact. Instead of forcing everyone into identical roles, they try to align people's natural abilities with the right problems. That's why some engineers become product innovators, while others become infrastructure experts. The company grows faster when people use their strengths. How you can apply this? Start by identifying your top 3 strengths. Ask yourself, what tasks feel easy for me? What do people often praise me for? When do I feel most energized at work? Then look for opportunities to use those strengths more frequently. For example, if your strength is communication, volunteer to present ideas. If your strength is analysis, help teams interpret data. If your strength is creativity, participate in brainstorming sessions. High performers don't try to be good at everything. They become exceptional at what matters most. And as we're talking about improving performance and working more efficiently, this is where tools that support high performers become extremely valuable. One platform that perfectly aligns with this idea of working smarter is Leadde AI. Leadde AI is designed to help you turn written content into professional, high-quality videos using artificial intelligence. Instead of spending hours recording and editing, you can generate videos directly from documents, PDFs, PPTs, or text within minutes. Whether it's converting files with auto layout scenes and smart key point highlights using ready templates, or building from scratch, everything can be done without video editing skills. The platform offers powerful multilingual support with AI dubbing in 15+ languages, original voice plus subtitles, diverse avatars, create your own or public ones, voice cloning, and even interactive chat with video for real-time Q&A. Teams love the analytics for tracking engagement and version control for easy updates. In short, it helps you communicate ideas faster, better, and at scale. And when you think about high performers, this is exactly the kind of advantage they look for. They don't just work harder. They use systems like this to save time, communicate better, and scale their ideas efficiently. So let your document speak. I've added the link in the description below so you can easily explore it after this video. Third, monitor their progress consistently. The third thing high performers do differently is that they measure their progress. Average performers rely on memory. High performers rely on data, because what gets measured gets improved. For example, founder Jeff Bezos built Amazon with a culture driven by metrics. Teams constantly track performance indicators such as customer satisfaction, delivery speed, conversion rates, operational efficiency. By measuring everything, teams always know where improvement is needed. Athletes use the same principle. Professional runners track their speed, distance, recovery time, and training intensity. This constant measurement helps them improve performance with precision. High performers treat their work the same way. They turn effort into measurable progress. How you can apply this? Start by tracking 3 key metrics related to your work. For example, if you work in sales, number of calls, conversion rate, and revenue generated. If you work in management, team productivity, project completion time, and employee engagement. If you're building a YouTube channel or personal brand, watch time, audience retention, and subscriber growth. Write these metrics down weekly. Then ask yourself, what improved this week? What didn't? This simple habit transforms vague effort into measurable progress. And once you start seeing numbers improve, motivation increases dramatically. Fourth, understand who they truly serve. The fourth habit is one of the most powerful. High performers understand who they are truly working for. Most employees think they work only for their boss, but high performers know something deeper. They work for the customer, the mission, and the impact of their work. For example, when Elon Musk built Tesla, the goal wasn't simply to sell cars. The mission was accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. That mission attracts employees who care deeply about the outcome of their work. When people understand the bigger purpose behind what they do, their motivation changes. Another example, founder Howard Schultz emphasized that Starbucks employees are not just serving coffee. They are creating a third place between home and work where people can relax and connect. When employees understand the customer experience they are creating, they take their work more seriously. High performers always ask, who benefits from the work I'm doing? Because when you connect your effort to real impact, performance improves naturally. How you can apply this? To build this habit, ask yourself 3 simple questions. Who is the ultimate customer of my work? How does my role make their life easier? And what problem am I helping solve? Once you understand this, even routine tasks gain meaning. Instead of thinking, I'm just completing this report, you start thinking, this information helps leaders make better decisions. Purpose creates commitment, and commitment drives performance. How you can start performing differently. If you want to elevate your performance, start applying these 4 habits. Focus on improving daily. Identify and leverage your strengths. Measure your progress so you can improve with clarity. And always connect your work to the impact it creates. Also remember something important. High performers often combine strong habits with smart tools and systems that help them work more efficiently. Whether it's using data, automation, or platforms that simplify complex work, they constantly look for ways to multiply their productivity. At the end of the day, high performers are not a different species. They simply approach work differently. Over time, these small habits create massive results. Because success rarely comes from one big moment. It comes from consistent actions repeated every single day. So the real question isn't whether high performers are different. The real question is, which of these habits will you start applying today? Because once you begin thinking and working like a high performer, the results will eventually follow. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hype it up. It helps the channel grow. And also make sure you check out Leadde AI if you want to level up the way you create and present your work. Thanks for watching, and check out our next video on 5 powerful steps to manage conflict between team members. Click here to watch it next.